Tonight's broadcast is made possible by Strack & Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. Crowell Insurance Company, the insurance superheroes. Ironworkers Local 395, proud to be union. Four Seasons Mechanical, quality and comfort is our guarantee. Boilermakers Local 374, earn while you learn. IBEW Local 697, proud to support high school sports. Bricklayers Local 4, the best hands in the business. Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter. The Right Group, the right way to buy and sell real estate. Mark Macknick, Chicagoland Tax Professionals. Blythe's Team Sports, where the athlete shops. And Hampton Inn, downtown Indianapolis. This is the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network. We come to you tonight from the Cube Ice Arena in Hammond as the Region Sports Network presents live video coverage of the 2026 Indiana Roper Cup Tournament as the Lake Central Indians take on the Bishop Noll Warriors. And I'm Leo Staudaher, and I'll have the play-by-play analysis for tonight's game in this quarterfinal matchup between Noll and Lake Central and the annual tradition that is the Roper Cup between these five teams this year, with a new addition to the field with Crown Point, Culver Academy, Lake Central, Munster, and Bishop Noll all hitting the ice this weekend. Only one team will leave as champions of this tournament, and that is obviously every program wants to win state, but there's that other obstacle in the road, that first hurdle you have to go through, where the Roper Cup, that means just as much playing against your rivals and your teams you face so often in the year, and the nature of high school hockey. And it's a small community. Everybody knows everybody, so you've played with some of these guys growing up. You might play in spring league teams with the players on these teams, so those bragging rights mean that much more, because you might end up playing with these guys in college or in rec leagues out of high school, and you'll be talking about, remember that Roper Cup game our junior year or senior year, and the stories get more and more heroic as more time passes, but bragging rights on the line this weekend. Here we go with Noll and Lake Central facing off first. So let's set the stage here. Lake Central enters with a record of 8-18-5 this season, but that record could be deceiving as they have played a very tough schedule against some of the top teams in Indiana and some teams from across the border in Illinois. This is a very well-coached and disciplined Lake Central team, and Bishop Noll, on the other end of the ice, enters with a record of 15-21-4. They have been playing well lately as well, so two strong teams. Talk about the field, where Lake Central last weekend took down Munster, defeated the Mustangs. The Mustangs, the top seed in this tournament, so that really shows you that any of these five teams could beat each other when given the opportunity to do so. So it should be a lot of fun this weekend going through some of the pregame keys for Lake Central. They are a really strong defensive program, so they will try to lock things down and make things difficult for Noll as they enter the offensive end of the ice. And for the Warriors, they will rely on team defense, goaltending, and working hard to score goals. They will know they will have to outwork Lake Central along the boards to try to create opportunities and try to get those goals in the high percentage areas. As for Noll, they have faced the seventh toughest schedule in the state. Over 85% of their games have been against 3A and 4A teams in the state, so some tough competition for sure for the Warriors, and they will look to tighten things up and face a strong Lake Central team. As the pregame show rolls along here, we'll take a look at the game night forecast, which is brought to you by our friends at Economy Electric Heating and Cooling. Tonight's forecast outside in Hammond, it's 14 degrees and cloudy, and again, that winter storm warning with some chances of heavy snowfall in the area expected by 6 o'clock. So if you're driving, please be safe. If you're at home watching the game, you have some more reason to stay in and enjoy this broadcast between two Northwest Indiana rivals, as it is much colder inside the rink too. So we are bundled up and ready to go here. We have Zach Miller and Aaron Svetlin as part of our crew this evening. That's the Friday night forecast brought to you by Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter. So as we continue to set the stage for this matchup in the quarterfinals of the Roper Cup tournament, we will step aside. When we come back, we will have more of the pregame festivities as these teams are warming up and just about ready to go. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Hi, my name is Mark Macknick. I'm the owner of Mark Macknick CPA firm in Highland, Indiana on Kennedy Avenue. I've been working with Region Sports for years now. Started working with Chris years ago, just on some special projects, advertising here and there. After a while, kind of increased the advertising. Mainly was doing it for the community involvement. It's such a great network and program they do with the high school sports. But as time went by, I started getting on there more frequently. And then the phone starts ringing. And I was getting calls all the time from people. Hey, I saw your ad on so-and-so football game. I saw your ad on a basketball game. And it's really helped my business. It's increased the volume. We're a tight community in Northwest Indiana, sports-wise, and just a lot of community involvement. So that's mainly why I got into it. I remember watching one game. It was a basketball game, and I think there was a little bit of an altercation. And as the altercation was happening, my ad was right on the bottom, and someone typed in, "I wonder what Mark Macknick's thinking right now." And I was thinking, wow, this is awesome. It's really been a great feature for my business. It's the only advertising I do. I don't advertise anywhere else other than Region Sports. It's for the business, but mainly for the involvement with the community. I played high school baseball here in Highland. And ever since I've been advertising on Region Sports, a lot of my old coaches are now my clients. A lot of my old teammates come in here. My recommendation, if you're a business here in Northwest Indiana, I think Region Sports is, for your money, it's one of the best places that you can advertise. I mean, I can advertise on billboards. I could do anywhere I want to. And I choose Region Sports mainly because I get a lot of feedback. Especially on the high school level, a lot of the parents, if they can't make a game, they're watching it online. They're watching a replay, the grandparents. So it's done wonders for my business, and it's my go-to for advertising. It's the only spot I would advertise. So if you're a business owner in the area, really look into advertising on Region Sports. It's going to be well worth your money, and you'll make tenfold on what you're spending. Region Sports Network, they're the only game in town, but they're more than just a game.
Back at the Cube as we get ready to set the stage for the Roper Cup tournament quarterfinal matchup between Lake Central and Bishop Noll, as we will take a look at the Indians of Lake Central High School, as they've been led by head coach Tony Stump. I mentioned 18-5 on the year, but that can be deceiving as they've played a very tough schedule throughout the regular season, and that's the talk about the nature of the high school hockey season. These teams, their first games were back in early October. You start preseason camp in late August, early September. It's been a long season, and you go through the ebbs and flows of that season, and really, not that the records don't matter, but all that matters is how you're playing at the end of the regular season when you turn things to the postseason. You're trying different lineup combinations, figuring out where everybody best fits into that puzzle. And as long as you can be peaking at the right time, that's what matters. And that could be kind of the case for this Lake Central team, as they, last game of their regular season, defeated Munster 7-3. Munster, a very tough opponent, the top seed in this tournament. So they're looking to carry that momentum into this game against Lake Central and throughout the weekend. And the Indians had some big wins earlier in the season, too, against some tough teams from throughout the state. They tied Penn back in November. That's a tough one. They've defeated Crown Point when they matched up in the regular season with, as well, against those Bulldogs, who we'll see later on in the tournament. But they've been led by a group of scorers. They've been splitting reps between Garrig Lucas and Luke Conley, and then up front offensively, they've been led by 7 goals from Nick Kutka, as well as 6 goals from CJ Chalmers. So they'll look to get those players involved as they try to produce offensively. A Lake Central team that has scored 71 goals while surrendering 110, so you're trying to get that goal differential trending back in the right direction, or you certainly know what you have or what you don't have at this point in the season too. So if goals are going to be harder to come by, you want to make sure you're clean things up defensively and try to limit those high danger opportunities for your opponent and try to cash in offensively when you can. So that will certainly be of the essence for Lake Central. And on the other end of the ice, we'll have Bishop Noll with that 15-21-4 record, one of the toughest schedules in the state. They, though, fell last time they faced they defeated Lake Central back in October and then split the other regular season matchup. So they will be looking to try to continue on that success against the Indians here. And for the Warriors of Bishop Noll, they've had some big wins in the regular season against, we mentioned that tough schedule. They defeated Chicago St. Rita, one of the top teams in Illinois, 4-2 back in the regular season. They had a tough 1-0 loss to Culver back in November, wins over Westfield, Bishop Moeller, and several others. Beat South Bend Adams back on the 20th. So this Lake Central team, they know what they need to do in order to, or this Bishop Noll team know what they need to do in order to face a team they've seen twice this regular season and split the season series with. So they will try to clean things up and continue to produce. They have scored 106 goals for, 120 goals against. So a Bishop Noll team that has scored in a high volume this season. They'll look to try to continue upon that. And when you look at both of these teams playing for the third time this season, but with the stakes that much higher in the Roper Cup tournament, that first period will be very telling for how this game could go. If you're able to weather that storm, control your emotions too. You're playing in front of a bigger crowd with a single elimination tournament. You want to play mistake-free hockey in that first period and just go through those first few shifts, realize it's just like all the games we've played in the regular season, and keep those emotions in check as just trying to avoid any unforced errors, penalties in the wrong spot, turnovers, and mistakes like that could unravel a period. So we'll see which team can play the cleanest game and try to pick up the win here as we begin this fun weekend with a lot of action, not just on the ice, but across all sports for Region Sports. Our entire crew working hard this weekend, but especially here at the Cube and the other rinks around the area. There will be plenty of hockey here in this tournament, so we are excited about that. As both teams will be getting ready to hit the ice momentarily, so we will take another quick break. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Have you heard? Strachan Manteau was voted Best of the Region 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community, and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best when you shop at Strachan Manteau.
Hi, I'm Crown Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Company's insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Welcome back to the Cube as the Roper Cup quarterfinals about to begin. We have some of the pregame recognitions being made here as tournament officials presenting a scholarship. So
board as well, representing the teams of the Indiana League in Northwest Indiana. Bruce proved himself to be a leader and promoter of high school hockey for the benefit of many area hockey players. Bruce lost his long battle with cancer on February 4th, 2010. This award continues the commitment and positive work Bruce has fostered during his years in hockey. So please join me in welcoming his son, Sean Hamilton, to help present the awards to the team. This year's winner on behalf of Lake Central High School is Ryan Jackson. Ryan Jackson is a senior defenseman at Lake Central High School and started playing hockey 4 years ago as a freshman. Prior to high school, the only hockey he played was on frozen ponds in the neighborhood. Ryan would like to thank his parents, Scott and Julie Jackson, for their love and support for high school and hockey. We would like to also thank his teammates and coaches for pushing them to be better and making every season so memorable. Last, Ryan would like to thank the Indiana High School Hockey League for providing such a generous scholarship. It is especially meaningful for Ryan since his Uncle Dave recently died of brain cancer. Ryan's Uncle Dave was able to watch him play hockey many times and was one of his biggest fans. Accepting the Bruce Hamilton Scholarship Award is an honor for Ryan. Ryan is Boiler bound and has accepted admission to Purdue University in West Lafayette in the fall of 2026. He will be studying business analytics and information management, hiring, and finance. One more time for Ryan. And this year's winner on behalf of Bishop Noll is Thomas Sapowski. Thomas Sapowski is a senior forward at 10th Bishop Noll High School. He began his career playing as a Hammy Mohawk and always wanted to play for the legendary coach Rick Spieler. Besides 4 years of hockey at Noll, he has participated in varsity football and golf teams, campus ministry, and many other clubs and activities. Thomas would like to thank his parents, DJ and Laura, for their love and support to make this point in his life. We'd also like to thank the huge support from his grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, who have supported him in his life. We'd also like In good times and bad, there were great people always around him at Bishop Noll. Thomas would like to extend a thank you to the Indiana League for considering him for this award. Accepting the Bruce Hamilton Scholarship Award truly is an honor to Thomas. Thomas will be deciding on attending the Tennessee University in the fall with a focus on engineering or following his dreams of continuing to cut grass, clean his room, load and unload the dishwasher, and the various other tasks he's committed to focusing on for his parents. We wish Thomas all the best in his decision. And let's give another round of applause for Sean Hamilton for his famous. Bishop Noll Warriors. Taking on tonight's visiting team from St. John, Indiana, Lake Central, Indiana. We are excited to see a tough match with great sportsmanship from all players and coaches and fans. Let's play some hockey.
Well, there we go. The Bruce Hamilton Scholarship being winners being recognized. Ryan Jackson from Lake Central and Thomas Kapowski of Bishop Noll. So a very cool moment for those involved as we get ready for the pregame warm-ups and hockey about to begin here between Bishop Noll and Lake Central. A reminder that you can be sure to stay connected with all things Region Sports by supporting and following us on social media. We're always active on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, and online at regionsports.com. Celebrating over 25 years, we're proud to still be the only game in town. So with the warm-ups going on here, we'll see just what that first period has in store. That as you go through that first rotation through the lines and getting everybody that first shift in a big tournament game like this, it's really important to start strong, and we'll see two teams that really want to focus on the defense here and limit those high-danger opportunities and try to keep the scoring chances at a minimum. We'll just see how they choose to line it up and produce here in this tournament matchup, and that you get that feeling whichever team can get the first goal could really have a lot of momentum on their side. That might sound pretty basic, but in a beginning of a long weekend of hockey, that is really important to start off with the lead and try to avoid having to work a comeback, as these two teams playing, the only teams playing on Friday. So you look, if they win today, they'll have to face Munster tomorrow, and that road just continues to get more difficult knowing you'll have 3 days of games to take place. So you want to make sure you avoid having things be too stressful in the first game. So we will continue to help set the stage, and when we come back, we will have puck drop between the Warriors and the Indians. That's next, so stick around. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4ajobdoneright.com.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craftworkers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I have received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craftworkers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
Calling all current and future homeowners in the Northwest Indiana area. Whether you're buying or selling, Brent Wright is here to make your real estate journey smooth and successful. With years of experience, personalized service, and a deep knowledge of the market, Brent will help you find the perfect place or get the best deal for your property. Call today at 219-406-7195 and take the first step towards your real estate goals. Contact Brent Wright, the right way to buy and sell real estate.
When it comes to your money, you deserve more than just numbers on a page. You deserve someone who sees the full picture. Meet Mark Machnick, one of Northwest Indiana's most trusted accounting professionals. Whether you're running a business, planning for retirement, or just trying to make sense of tax season, Mark Machnick, located in Highland, makes it simple, personal, and believe it or not, painless. Contact Mark and his team today at 219-595-5290. Mark Machnick, CPA.
At Blyce, we're used to having the athlete shop at our store.
Down, sit, put.
But sometimes they get carried away. Blyce, this is where the athlete shops.
Just about ready to start things here between Bishop Noll and Lake Central. Bishop Noll will be on the right side of your screens wearing the Navy uniforms with gold pants. There's Navy and gold stripes along the sweaters as well. White numbers on the back. Most of the players wearing Navy helmets and gold gloves. While Lake Central, they'll be on the left side of your screens on the away bench wearing the white sweaters with blue shoulders, blue numbers on the back. Blue helmets and gloves complete the outfit for the Indians as they go through the final pregame huddle. And after that, we will have puck drop between the Indians and Warriors. And we'll get to see the starting lineups for each team, see which players will take the ice first. That's really important, getting the nod to start in a big game like this, being tasked with by your coach to help set the tone and play that matchup game, how you want to face the other team's top line, who you want out there in those big moments, and trying to make sure the other team's top line doesn't score, and in what figures to be a low-scoring defensive matchup between two local rivals. But excited to be here at the Cube. Leo Staudaher with you on the call. Zach Miller and Aaron Svetlin on the rest of the crew. And so here we go. It's been an eventful Friday early evening here in Hammond as you go. We get the final talk from your coaches. That's where you've gone through the strategy, you've practiced. Now it's just about making sure you're ready to start, and that things don't get out of hand early here, and you can really hit the ground running to start this tournament matchup. We see Noll in the Navy uniforms, Lake Central in the white. Tony Stumpf leads the team from Lake Central, and Rich Sabillo, the head coach from Bishop Noll. So both of them leading their programs and trying to make sure they make the right lineup decisions and get the right players out at the right time this evening. We'll see Luke Connolly in net for Lake Central. Connolly 1-2-2 on the year with a .280 goals against average. .941 save percentage. He's made 149 saves in his 5 games played. And on the other end of the ice, Bishop Noll will be looking to defend the net with Alina Jasinski. So here we go. Face-off time. Kutka against Stocky. Puck is dropped and we're underway. Lake Central wins it. They look to connect on a pass through the neutral zone, while the Warriors bring it over the blue line, staying just off sides. That feed to Hickson from Lajewski was just off the mark. So we'll do it again here. Stocky in the draw, wins it backward, and then they dump it in to the offensive zone. Diagonal pass broken up by Lechajewski, and the Warriors take over. Vincent sends it over to his teammate Stocky, who tries to jab it in the offensive zone, but they'll have to reload. Vincent now angles through the middle of the ice, drifts to his right, loads up but can't quite get a shot off, being forced away from the puck. And now it's taken over by Noll. Up in front, Stocky couldn't quite thread the needle on that pass. Intercepted by Chalmers. He brings it through the neutral zone, looking for clean ice, gets it to Kohler. Chalmers still battling in the corner, trying to find that positioning. The Indians emerge with it. Chalmers behind the net, poked away. So here we go into the quarter on the near side of the ice. Both teams coming together, and it's just sent down towards the opposing goalie. Connolly plays it with the stick, finds his teammate Chalmers. Quick feed to Kutka, pokes it forward. Tapia breaks it up, and the Indians are on the move here. That was Geenan with the dump to the far end of the ice, but it's taken away. Lawrence carries through the middle of the ice. Kutka, though, getting back in transition, interrupts that move from the Warriors. Jabbed forward by Biskin. Now Sachaki has it. Loops it behind the net, trying to find a white jersey to get it to, but Gates couldn't quite get the most out of that shot, so the Indians take over. We'll see Geenan bringing it through the near side of the ice. Drops it into the far right corner. Gates in a battle with Egan, looking for a way out. Egan tries to cradle the puck and loses it. Now Gates just pushes it forward. Egan will scan the ice looking for a partner. It pinballs around, nearly intercepted by Lawrence, but then he loses it. Now it's carried through by Calger. Valiatis sends it backward to Hoekstra. They'll play catch. Near the point, Calger just tries to carry things forward. And now Geenan behind the net. Still a lot of activity here as they play it along the half boards. Sent towards the slot, but then broken up nicely by the Warriors goaltender. Now the defenseman looking to make something happen with his feet. Raymond carries it through the neutral zone, drops it to the far side. Keenan working behind the opposing net. Drops it into the corner. It'll be chased down by Hickson. And so a lot of pushing and shoving going behind the net as Hoekstra gets involved. It's set to the point. Buzikowski has his shot blocked. Now Valiatis regroups through the neutral zone and just sends it into the corner. Lake Central looking for a path forward. Calger battling with Raymond. Slides it along the far boards. Still loose. And now the Warriors just drop it back into enemy territory. Behind the net, Calger keeps his head up as he protects the puck. Gets it to a teammate. Could be a 3-on-2 for the Indians. Here they go. Combs shoots over the net. And Buzikowski slices it down the ice. Couldn't find a Navy jersey, so it'll be icing. So these teams, the first whistle of the game after a fast back and forth. That could be through the first almost 4 minutes, no whistles. Now you get a chance to take a deep breath and adjust here at the face-off. It's loose in the slot. A quick shot goes wide of the net. Good persistence by the Indian center, Kutka, to create that opportunity off the draw. Kutka swipes it away, handles on the backhand, sends it to the point. There's a far shot. It goes off the pads and to the screen behind the net. So a big save by Schultz. Able to follow that shot through traffic. When that defenseman keeps that shot low, that shot from the left point from France didn't leave the ice, but that can be tricky when you're trying to send it through 3 or 4 players. The goalie might not see it until it's too late. So good idea. Hickson takes that pass away. He's got 2 defensemen in front of him. Cuts to the left, shoots, blocked by the goaltender. Conley was able to handle that feed. Now Noll handles near their bench. Peacock sends it on an angle to the close side. And now Lake Central with the puck. Good persistence by the forecheckers. Stuckey handles in the corner. Quick give and go. Intercepted by the Warriors. Taken down the ice by Kohler. Left side, Dostal. Dostal shakes off a check. Keeps going to the corner. but then a good job getting back by Vincent to take away what could have been a quick rush for Lake Central. Now Stocky dribbles his way through and then tools it off a defender out of play. So we get another chance for a face-off here. At the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll name the Crowell Companies Lantern Man Superhero of the Game. Crowell Companies, the insurance professionals. Puck drop. Egan wins it back to his defenseman. They send it to the far side. Egan loses it at his feet. Now the Warriors are on the move. Lake Central does a good job dropping numbers back in transition. They'll send it to the corner where Klopowski tries to find it. Just hops over the stick of Biskin. Loose in the right side corner. Tapia lofts it towards the net, but it's scooped up with the glove by Connolly. So a good keep by Bishop Noll. They continue just to cycle it and apply pressure. They're working their way closer to the netminder. The face-off. Close side, Calger rolls it along the boards. Skips over Calger's stick. The Warriors have it. Tapia wedges it into the corner. And Calger trying to find a path out. Sends it to the left side. Stepping up his gates. Keeps it in play and then cues it forward. Combs has the puck now. Sends it to the right side. Tapia gloves it. Launches a shot towards the net, but it gets blocked by his own teammate and redirects away. Biskin got in front of that one. Now Lake Central has it. But then Biskin breaks up the pass and just drops it back into enemy territory. 9:09 left to play in the first period. We are scoreless here at the Cube. Far side, they get it to right. Sends it just a step past the red line, but it redirects off a stick, avoids the icing. And here comes Geenan. Left side, the referee gets in the way of that one, and then that bounces off the skate of right. So we'll see Bizkowski looking to make something happen here. Raymond gets brought down to the ice by Frysma. Here's Valianis. Keeps his head up, moves. He's got a teammate to the left side. Crosses the center ice logo. Tries to put that one through a screen, but the Warriors were just off sides. That brings a halt here with 8:26 left to go in period number one, as we are still looking for the game's first goal. Well, teams switch up the lines. We'll have Stocky taking the draw against Marzilli from Lake Central. This one's loose at center ice. Lajewski looks to thread the needle towards center ice. A nice shot, but it goes off the crossbar. Hickson beat the tender, but then hit the iron. Here's Hickson. It goes off his skate away behind the net. It goes high off the glass where it's held by Nieves. Lajewski. Top side. A shot over the net. Nice look from the Warriors. Bizkowski keeps it in play, then he is knocked down to the ice by Frysma. Left himself in a vulnerable position, then Frysma charged in. Here's Hickson, makes one-man miss, weaves his way through the neutral zone to the offensive zone, goes off the skate of Stuckey and into the corner. Brought up the ice by Lucas. Quick shot from Frysma. They wrap it around the boards. Still battling on the close side. At the point, Nieves tries to snap his shot, but goes into the far corner where Vincent takes it up ice. Plays it geometrically up the boards to Lajewski, but it's swiped away by Chalmers. And now the Warriors are on the move. Here's Klopowski. He shoots. He scores! Thomas Klopowski with the turnover, a couple nice angles and a snipe, and it's the Warriors who strike first. With 7:04 left to play in the first period, Klopowski puts the home team on the board. So we'll get a look at the replay there as, actually Gates angles it up the boards, but Klopowski did a good job of just taking that one away from a forward at center ice and then made a couple nice moves to score. We'll see how the Indians respond. Kutka has a 2-on-1. Kutka with a shot, but it carries over the net, wraps around the boards. Calger handles at the point, works towards the center. His pass just goes behind Kohler. Now Calger tries to make a move. It's intercepted. Biskin slicing his way up the ice. Dangles, but it has to go to the corner. Tazek doesn't back down. Tapia keeps it in play at the blue line. Karams away to Dostal. Dostal's pass broken up by Lawrence. Lawrence at the top of the circle. He gets wrapped up and twisted down, and they're still pushing and shoving back behind the plate. Dostal and Lawrence get tangled up there, and I think we will see some penalties handed out there. They will be offsetting. Let's see, I believe we will remain at 5-on-5 here, but you never know. With 6:11 to play in the first period, Lawrence and Dostal both head to the box. It will remain 5-on-5 because they will be offsetting penalties, so they'll have to wait 2 minutes and then a whistle. So we remain at full strength here. Hoekstra gets ready for the face-off against Egan. It's won by the Indians, and it's sent backward by Frysma. Carried through traffic. Hoekstra makes him pay at the boards. Frysma, though, continues just to push it forward. Here's Geenan. Broken up by the Warriors. Taken down the ice by Raymond. He slows up to a dribble. Tries to connect to his teammate Wells, but well defended by the Indians. And here's Geenan. Geenan with 4 Navy jerseys in front of him. Chooses to play it into the corner and then chase it. Valianis has it in the corner. Was looking for his buddy Wells. He just jabs it forward. Wells cranks it towards net, but well defended by Connolly. Chalmers has passed just behind a teammate, so it caroms towards center ice. Dumped back into the zone by Peacock. And Chalmers in the right corner towards his goalie. Plays it towards Geenan. It slips past his stick, and Buzkowski looks to go D-to-D here. He will. Peacock sends it down the ice, but Chalmers, his opposing defenseman, was there to break that pass up. Chalmers dances his way from the left side of the net. Plays it towards the crease. But Geenan couldn't quite reel it in as it just fluttered up in the air, and then he had to try to jab it forward. That puck really wasn't on the ice that long. So it's set down by the Warriors for an icing. 4:47 left to play in the first period. Bishop Noll leads 1-0. Kutka gets ready for the offensive zone face-off. It's won backward by Stocky, wrapped around the boards, going towards the net. Connolly lets it go by for an icing. So at this point in the game, with Lake Central applying pressure, trying to respond back, they'll look to set something up off this face-off with Kutka going against Stocky. Stocky wins it backward to Vincent. Looks at his options, goes left side. Now across. Brought into the offensive zone for Noll. Lajewski was pushed off the puck by Calger. Now there's gathering in the corner. Still working to make something happen here. Nieves plays it forward. Calger circles back. He's hit by Lajewski. Now it's taken away by the Warriors. That one just goes behind Hickson up the boards, and Kutka takes over. Kutka on the right side. Tries to carry it. He loses his footing. And here's Kohler going around the net. Kohler cradles, shoots. It goes at a Bishop Noll defender. That was Peacock who got in front of that shot. And he sends Kutka into the boards. The puck is loose at the right circle. France plays it off the hop. France braces for contact, tries to get it to Kohler, but then Stocky takes it away. It's a 2-on-1. Stocky on the left side, sends it right side to Biskin. Biskin shoots, stopped by Connolly. Biskin behind the net with the handoff to Stocky. Stocky trying to play through some contact. Biskin down low, swiped away. Calger plays it off the glass. Gates steps up, keeps it in play at the right blue line. This is right behind the net. It's loose. Nieves can't quite get there. Plays it backward to Calger. Calger flips things from left to right. Sends it up ice. Just out of reach of Marzilli. Just under 3 minutes left to play here in the first period as Tapia works around the center circle. They were looking to go D to D there on the right side. Lake Central retreating back into their own. Tapia plays it towards net, kicked away by Conley. Right, braces for contact. They send it up top to Tapia. It's redirected towards net, but Connolly was able to smother it. And now the Indians are on the move. Marzelli. That'll be offsides. Marzelli carried it into the offensive zone, but just had it poked away. And as his teammates were able to collect the bounce there, they were well offsides. So that stops things with 2:29 left to play in the first period. It'll be a face-off just in front of Noll's bench. Wells tries to win it. It's waved at by Geenan, and he plays it into the corner. Here's Valianis on the right side. He's got a teammate on the left. It was just poked away by the Indians. Here's Buzkowski. Keeps the head up. Shakes past one defender. Geenan quickly slides it to Egan. And it's floated into the offensive zone by Wells. Chalmers handles in the corner. Gets it to his teammate Combs. Chalmers off a quick feed, but Raymond was right in front of him to keep the puck, and then Geenan snaps the twig. He'll have to go to the bench, puts the Indians short a man here as he tries to get a new stick. Here's Kohler, quick feed. Quick feed gets it to Sachaki, braces for contact with Buzkowski, plays it forward, but Raymond handles it, and then the puck just stays in play along the boards down to the far corner. A little under 90 seconds left to go in period number one. Kohler on the close side. Buzkowski keeps it in play, trying to get it to Hoekstra. Now Hickson works towards the corner. Behind the net, Wells checks it out, goes up top to Peacock. He shoots. It's low, kicked away by Conley. Buzkowski at the left circle. Knocks him down. That was Combs trying to play the body on Buzkowski, but it was the puck carrier who wins the battle. Peacock snaps one from the point. It goes wide of the net, just to the right of Conley. Hoekstra swings it towards the middle. Hickson had his stick tied up by Chalmers. That one hops over the stick of Peacock, and Buzkowski slashes it towards the left side. Hoekstra didn't get all that when it goes off the heel of his stick. Now Hickson will track this one down towards the corner. Plays it battling with Egan. 30 seconds to go in the period. Down the ice, Patazik sends it to his counterpart, Vincent. 22 seconds left to play as Vincent crosses the logo. He's scurrying towards the offensive zone, sends it, and it's waffle-boarded away by Connolly up into the netting. So Connolly just was able to get a piece of that one and send it away. And now that was a good shot by Noll, because now you get to set up a face-off play with 15 seconds left in the period. That was a heads-up play by Vincent just to get a shot on net and realize now you have a chance to maybe run a better play off the face-off circle. So we'll see Stuckey on the face-off for the Warriors, and then it's sent up the ice by the Indians. 10 seconds left to play as Tapia handles, goes behind his net. Quick feed will be collected by Patazik. And with that, we will reach the end of the first period. So Noll gets on the board with a goal from Thomas Klopowski to put them up 1-0 after 15 minutes. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll have the second period between the Warriors and the Indians. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Have you heard? Strachan Mantell was voted Best of the Region 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community, and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best. when you shop at Stratton Mantel.
Hi, I'm Crowell Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Companies, insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider
At the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll name the Boilermakers Local 374 Blue Collar Player of the Game, brought to you by Boilermakers Local 374. Earn while you learn with Boilermakers Local 374. So we switch sides, and we're ready to go here for the second period of this Roper Cup quarterfinal game. Lake Central going from right to left in your screens. Noll from left to right. The Indians in the white, the Warriors in the navy uniforms. Noll works it to the right of Connolly, taken around the net to the point. Gates rips one from the point, but it's blocked by the Indians. Dostal now carries it to the offensive. Makes a backhanded pass, but it's broken up by the defense of Noll. So that was a quick burst from defense to offense from Lake Central, as then Chalmers sends one, but it's pushed away by the keeper. And so Schultz weathers the storm here. On the rebound, he will just put the blocker over that one to earn a whistle and a face-off for his team. So a couple of quick chances for Lake Central as they were able to block that shot from the point from Gates, and then Dostal, just with that backhanded pass, couldn't quite get enough on it on that 2-on-1. It was well defended by the Warriors, but then a couple of big saves by Schultz keep this a 1-0 lead for Noll. Freisma from the point sends it at the back of the Warriors center, and then a couple players go tumbling over as they all run into each other. Hoekstra with the hit, and then Egan cuts one towards the net. Sachaki tries to play it along the far side. Works it down low. Noll takes over. Cross ice pass just out of reach. Raymond didn't realize it was going through his legs, and it goes to the opposing end of the ice. Sachaki tries to track this one down, but Bizkowski gets there first. Here's Egan. Tries to thread the needle, but it's just out of reach of Freisma. Up top, Freisma lets one rip, but it goes into the glove of Schultz. So Schultz has had a couple early saves here in the second period with 13:31 left to play. Certainly Lake Central getting a few chances to go on their side of the ice. They'll look to make the most of this offensive stand here, trying to create something off the draw. So we'll have Farzelli going against the Warriors here. They'll reload. Calger chips it to the left side. Biskin battling with Marzilli. Goes into the corner. Launched up the ice by Patazik. Here's Peacock. Sends it to his left. Or it's just poked forward by Stocky. Lifted up the ice. Vincent has it skip over his blade, but he curls back, being pressured by Marzilli. This will go down to the opposing end of the ice. Connolly steps up to play it. He drops it backward to Patazik. Right side, Nieves. Plays it near his skates. Patazik. Risky pass broken up by the Warriors. Vincent handles at the point. Loses it at his skates, but recovers. Vincent driving down low. Stocky wraps it around the boards. Chasing after it is Biskin. Biskin plays the body as Calger loses it behind him. Now the Indians are on the move. Patazik dumps it into the corner. They send two white jerseys to chase after it. Vincent keeps his head up and takes it around for the right circle. Vincent crosses center ice. Goes left side to Stocky. Broken up, goes to the left of the keeper, Conley. Now Lake Central takes over. Kutka shoots, but it was blocked by Peacock. And now Kutka snaps his stick. So he's playing without any lumber here as Vincent down the ice, sends it towards Connolly, who was not expecting that one. He quickly had to get down to the pads and stop it. Nice moves. It's loose. Another shot. The second chance opportunity. Connolly just falls on top of it. The Warriors, Klopowski was just jabbing at it. One chance, two chances, but Connolly just kept the right pad in front of them and was eventually able to put the glove on top of it. But a couple of quick looks for Bishop Noll after the puck had been in their defensive end for most of the second period. We'll get ready for a face-off here with 11:29 remaining before the intermission. Here's Hickson at the draw for Noll and Egan for Lake Central. They win it forward to Sachaki. Pushed forward by Frysma. Frysma and Gates racing for it. Frysma's going to win that foot race. Curls around the net. Stops, goes back behind the net. Looks to send it to the slot, but it was intercepted by Lejewski. Lejewski battles, gets it to Hickson, sends it into the shin pads of a defenseman, and then it's cleared out of the zone. Gates looks to help regroup. Goes to Tapia on the left side, down the ice. Chipped into the corner by Lejewski. Here's France in the corner, and then it's just pushed by Hickson towards the keeper. And we'll have some extracurricular activities between Hickson and France, and the referee will quickly step between the two of them. 10:49 left to play in the second period. Noll leads 1-0 here in this Roper Cup quarterfinal matchup. Face off to the left of the goaltender Connolly. Wright emerges with it, wraps it around the boards. Geenan tracks it down for Lake Central. Lifts it up the ice. Egan dances to his right. Was looking for his winger, Geenan, but then Combs will just drop it into the corner. Geenan flips it towards the keeper. It's behind the net. It's loose. The Warriors take over. Wright handles on the near side. Plays it towards the net, but it goes wide into the corner to the right of Conley. Far side. Geenan takes over for Lake Central. Sends it at the skates of Egan. Egan steps up, but his pass broken up by Biskowski. Takes a odd bounce off the boards. Wright circles back. It's a 3-on-2 for Noll. Left side. There's a shot and a goal! Raymond makes it a 2-0 lead for the Warriors with 9:46 left to play in the second period. So off the turnover, it ends up being an odd man rush for the Warriors. Let's watch it right here. Good heads-up play with that backhand pass. Raymond loads up and sends it to the glove side of the net. Nicely done by all parties. We saw Stocky with the turnover at middle ice, and that nice backhand feed to get it to Raymond makes it a 2-0 lead for the Warriors. Down the ice it goes to the left of Schultz. And you talk about how the momentum seemed to be going in this period. It was Lake Central with so many chances. Now Biskin takes it to the left. And his pass goes at the feet of Patazik, and Lake Central reloads. Vincent sends a low shot. It hops off the heel of Patazik. That one's going to hurt as he's still battling through it. Klopowski sent into the corner by Calger. Klopowski, though, protects the puck. It's loose. Kutka scoops it up. Kutka launches one left side, was looking for Dostal, but the Warriors were there. Here's Kutka again. Crosses the blue line. Kutka towards the slot. Stopped by Schultz into the corner. Kohler works it to Geenan. Chipped away, and now the Warriors swipe it. Lawrence goes to Biskin. Biskin had his shot into the shin pads of a Lake Central defender. Lawrence gets another chance. Sends it low. Sticked away by Calger. Here's Stocky to the left of the goaltender. This one's wrapped around the boards by Kutka. It pops away. A quick shot from Stocky, kicked away by Conley. Dostal carries it, braces for contact, and then it's just dumped into the offensive zone by the Indians. Peacock plays it from the right side, cuts towards the middle. Now he'll go back behind the net for the regroup. 8 minutes to play in period number 2. Chips it behind the net. Here's Vincent. Vincent loses it but recovers. He weaves to the left side. Pokes it towards the net. Still gets his own rebound. Vincent circling around. Tapia just dumps it back into the corner, but was talking about how Lake Central had so many chances in the early stages of this period, but then it's Noll who capitalizes on a quick turnover and scores. That's just the way hockey goes sometimes. Frysma and Tapia get tangled up in the corner. Frysma escapes with the puck. Swings back. Jab towards the net by Sebian. Chalmers tries to play it at his feet just past the red line. Carries forward. He's shouldered away by Hoekstra. It's loose behind the net. Schultz keeps his head on a swivel as then Chalmers sends it with a backhand towards him. Hoekstra sends it high off the glass and it rolls out of play with 6:59 to play in the second period. Bishop Noll leads 2-0, courtesy of goals from Noah Raymond and Thomas Klopowski. And they'll prepare for a defensive zone face-off to the left of Noah Schultz. Egan plays the face-off to his left, then Tapia loops it to the right. Slid up the boards by Wells. Now Hoekstra carries it into the offensive zone. Angles to the corner. Hoekstra battling with Chalmers. Noll has it on the left side. Here's Raymond. Raymond stood up, gets it, plays catch with Hoekstra. Raymond with a nice angle. Up top to Tapia. Low shot, blocked. Hoekstra tries to cradle it. Raymond shoots and scores! Noah Raymond with 2 goals in the second period adds to the lead for the Warriors. So this play all starts with that shot from the point by Tapia. We'll watch it as it gets blocked. So here's the first goal from Raymond. That was a nice feed by Stocky. Raymond buries that one, but this one all starts some nice puck movement between Hoekstra, Tapia, and Raymond. Tapia cranks a shot from the point. It was low. Hoekstra chips it towards the net, and then Raymond was Johnny on the spot to just send that one past Connolly and make it a 3-0 lead. Quick shot goes off the post to the left of Schultz. And Valianis lifts it, not enough on it to clear the zone, though. Kutka takes over for Lake Central. Kutka towards the slot, swiped away. And for Lake Central here, trailing by 3, they'll try to send in a lot of looks towards the net to try to find a way back into this game. And here come the Warriors. Biskin takes it in the offensive zone. Cuts to his left. Was trying to thread the needle to Klopowski, but it was poked away by the Indians. Biskin behind the net, battling with Calgar. They are both brought down to the ice. Wrapped around the boards to Valianis at the point. Sends a low shot, ankle high. Connolly got a piece of it. Tried to track down the rebound. And Calgar was there to help. And still a lot of contact going behind the net. Geenan up the ice to Dostal. Crosses the red line. It's a 3-on-2. Dostal swings it to the right. Calgar has it at the circle. Cuts back his pass. Cued away by Biskin. Good job getting a stick on that one. Here's Kohler. Loading up. Crosses the blue line, but then it's poked away by Bizkowski. Now the Warriors have the puck. Hickson cuts to the middle. Hickson sends it into the shins of Frysma. One of those ones where Frysma might not have even realized he got a piece of that one. Now he plays it just behind the net. Circles back. Frysma up the ice to the right side. Hickson makes a play at the circle. Gets it to Vincent. The defenseman brings it up the ice for the Warriors. Vincent sends it at Calgar, who blocks it, takes one for the team. Here's Hickson. Pinballs around, and Schultz gets the glove on that one on a bit of a tough play to read as Hickson was trying to get that snapshot going, but it just cut up, and you have to play it out of the air. So here's that second goal from Raymond. You talk about that puck movement to get it to Tapia at the point. You then get that deflection on purpose, and then Raymond's there to collect it. Here's Hoekstra on the faceoff, finds Raymond. Played forward by Chalmers. Patazik has it. Off the glass, and Vincent looks to go D to D, finds Peacock. Was looking towards his team's bench. That was just out of reach of Wright, and then it rolls all the way to the corner for icing. And this could be an advantageous opportunity now with 4 minutes, 10 seconds to play in the second period for Lake Central. You want to capitalize on that icing, get an offensive zone face-off play working here. You can't hit a three-point shot here, but if you could get one goal before the end of the period, that would make a huge difference. You don't want to try to overcome a 3-goal deficit in the final period. So with time dwindling here in the second, I want to try to get something on net and find a way to solve Schultz, as then Schultz covers that one up off the face-off. So we've really just seen Noll has been able to exit the zone so cleanly and make a lot of good plays in the neutral zone. And that's how that have really been able to get a lot of chances. And then they've been persistent with their forecheck. As Vincent wraps that one around, Chalmers handles just inside the blue line. Vincent recovers. Patazik plays it towards the net, just out of reach of Forgus. Right along the half wall, Chalmers dribbles. Right, flips it towards the corner to Vincent. Vincent with a defender behind him. Brings it up the ice, looking for Hoekstra. Hoekstra's got a foot race towards the net. He is brought down to the ice, and it goes to Connolly. Will we have a call there as Hoekstra was sent down to the ice by a Lake Central defenseman? It looks like we will just not have a call. It'll be 5-on-5 and an offensive zone faceoff for Noll, but that was a good pass, good outlet pass by Vincent to put that one in front of Hoekstra to set him up for that breakaway. That's what we've talked about. Noll has done such a good job with those zone exits to turn up ice quickly. It's not a 3-pass breakout or anything they're doing. They're really getting up the ice with 1, maybe 2 passes a lot of these times. Here's Tapia in the left corner. Tapia under siege from Kohler. Looks to find a friendly face. Egan handles for the Indians. Gets it to his defenseman. Right back to Egan, the center. Pass risky, broken up in front of the net by Stocky. It's recovered by Frysma. And then a quick turnover forced in the offensive zone by Lichajewski. In front of the net, Biskin had 2 white jerseys around him, couldn't make anything happen. Tapia from the point towards the net. It'll be a butterfly save by Connolly. We've seen so much of this from Noll as they look to get those low shots from the defenseman and then screen the goalie or try to play it off the redirection. Tapia with another good one there as it's frozen by Connolly and they get to reload. But it looks cool when you can pick a corner from the point, but it looks worse when you send it over the net and it wraps around the glass net of play. Those low shots that can be redirected or screened, those are always what a coach would really prefer to see from the point. As here's Schultz hanging on to that one, helps his team get the whistle and a face-off here in their defensive zone. 2:31 left to play in the second period. Jordan Stocky gets ready for the face-off for Noll, and Nick Kutka for Lake Central. Behind the net, a big hit from Kohler, but Noll is able to get the puck out of the zone. Buzkowski, 3-on-2 for the Warriors. Kohler gets back, works it to his teammate Dostal, kept in the zone by the Warriors, and then Kutka just loses it. He could have been off to a breakaway there, but it bounces off his blade and goes into the corner. Here's Galeatis behind the net. Dostal with a quick move, stopped by Schultz. Kohler to Kutka. It's loose again, kicked away by Schultz. In front of the net, nobody's there to collect it. Up to the point. Patazik unleashes a slap shot, but it goes wide into the right corner. Frysma towards the net, but stopped by Buzkowski. And here, Lichajewski sends it into the corner. Nice play by Frysma to reload. Up to Kutka. Kutka carries it towards the left side to Dostal. Just past his stick. Kohler swings it to the net, but didn't get enough on it. Dostal back to Kohler. Tries to dance his way through the defense, and then it's Dostal from the circle. Puts the Indians on the board. Daryl Dostal with the shot. Was able to keep it low, sends it past Schultz, and now it's a 3-1 game with 1:18 left to play. So Kohler plays it to the right, and then here's Dostal, just able to get that low ankle-high shot, sneak it close side past Schultz. That's a tight angle for Dostal, but he was able to make the most of it. It's just over a minute left to play in period number 2. It's a 3-1 game. Here's Peacock with the puck for Bishop Noll. Gets it to Biskin. Now the Warriors take it into the offensive zone. Biskin shoots. Stopped by Conley. Vincent chips it towards the corner. Curling back. And the whistle from the far side official cuts the air, and we'll have a stoppage here with 5:55 left to play in the second period. And the face-off will be just outside the offensive zone for the Warriors. I think the high stick brought that whistle up. So Klopowski takes the face-off for Noll, and we'll see Egan for Lake Central. Egan wins it back to his defenseman, Frysma. Cross ice, just skips away from Geenan. Now Egan takes it over, drops it into the offensive zone. Peacock to the right of his goalkeeper. Swings it left side. Vincent will look to track it down. Vincent at the half wall. Flips it up the boards. Frysma, no look backhand pass intercepted by Klopowski. Tags up, gets onside. Here's Biskin dropping it backwards to Peacock. Goes off the skates of one of his teammates, and now Frysma looks to get a regroup going for Lake Central. Chalmers at the red line. Stood up by Peacock. Vincent handles for Bishop Noll. Plays it off the glass. Nobody's there to retrieve it. Frysma with 9 seconds to play in the period. Sends it down the ice. Biskin forces the turnover. Biskin with 4 seconds to go. Shoots. Glove saved by Conley. Connolly stops things with 1 second left to play in the second period. It's not impossible to score with a second, but you'd have to be absolutely perfect to quickly run something off the draw here. So they'll drop the defenseman to the top of the circle for a quick stop and pop shot here. The face-off, tied up by Kutka, and he just sweeps it away. That is how the second period will end. So there was a lot of offense in that 15-minute frame. 2 goals by Noah Raymond for Bishop Noll, 1 goal by Dario Dostal for Lake Central. We have a 3-1 score after 2. We will step aside for the ice resurface, and when we come back, we'll have the third period between Bishop Noll and Lake Central here in this Roper Cup quarterfinal matchup. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Have you heard? Strachan-Manteau was voted Best of the Region 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community, and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best when you shop at Strachan-Manteau.
Hi, I'm Crowell Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Companies, insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
IBEW Local 697 isn't just wiring buildings. We're woven into the very fabric of Northwest Indiana. We're your neighbors. Our kids go to school with yours. We stand in the same bleachers cheering for the same high school teams. When you hire a union electrician, you're not just getting the highest quality work. You're supporting our community. IBEW Local 697, proudly powering our own.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at forajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4ajobdoneright.com.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craftworkers for Indiana Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I've received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craftworkers for Indiana Kentucky Apprenticeship, the best hands in the business.
Calling all current and future homeowners in the Northwest Indiana area. Whether you're buying or selling, Brent Wright is here to make your real estate journey smooth and successful. With years of experience, personalized service, and a deep knowledge of the market, Brent will help you find the perfect place or get the best deal for your property. Call today at 219-406-7195 and take the first step toward your real estate goals. Contact Brent Wright, the right way to buy and sell real estate.
When it comes to your money, you deserve more than just numbers on a page. You deserve someone who sees the full picture. Meet Mark Machnick, one of Northwest Indiana's most trusted accounting professionals. Whether you're running a business, planning for retirement, or just trying to make sense of tax season, Mark Machnick, located in Highland, makes it simple, personal, and believe it or not, painless. Contact Mark and his team today at 219-595-5290. Mark Machnick, CPA.
At Blyce, we're used to having the athlete shop at our store.
Down, sit, put.
But sometimes they get carried away. Blyce, this is where the athlete shops.
Welcome back to the Cube as we are at intermission here of the 2026 Ileana Roper Cup Tournament, this quarterfinal matchup between Bishop Noll and Lake Central. Leo Staudacher with you on the call. Zach Miller and Aaron Svetlin make up the rest of the crew. As you see there, Bishop Noll leads 3-1 after 2 periods. It's been an eventful first couple of periods here at the Cube as there's been some offense, there's been some physicality. Let's take a look at how we got here at this point. In the first period, it was Thomas Klopowski, we just saw him win the Hamilton Scholarship earlier, and what a way to help get the scoring started for the Warriors with that turnover at center ice. A couple of nice moves, and then he buries that one on the close side to make it a 3-1 lead. Then it was Noah Raymond at a quick turnover at center ice, and then you see Hickson with the quick pass. Raymond loads up and sends that one glove side for the goal. That made it 2-0 at that point for the Warriors. They weren't done yet, as it was Hoekstra, Tapia, and Raymond to complete this nice cycle. Shot from the point, a redirection. Raymond's there to collect the loose change. Makes it a 3-0 lead for the Warriors. But then Lake Central would answer back in a big way with 1:18 left in the period, as it's Dario Dostal from the far side sending that one past Schultz to put the Indians on the board. And that really, you talk about, you hear a lot of coaches, general managers say the worst things that could happen are giving up a goal in the first minute or the last minute of a period. So for Lake Central to get on the board, it's still a 2-goal deficit, but it's a lot better than being down 3 going into the third period, and you think you have a little bit of momentum on your side now to start the period. We'll see, though, because they did respond very well at the start of the second period, but then it was Bishop Noll with 2 goals in a 3-minute span by Raymond. They were really seeming to adjust well in that period, and part of what Noll has done so well is controlling the middle of the ice. I mean, we watched those highlights. 2 of those goals were caused by neutral zone turnovers. The one by Klopowski, where he's just able to swipe it away and then carry it up, score off the rush. And then Raymond with his first goal, that was a turnover at center ice by, I believe it was Stocky, who was able to make a really nice backhand feed to Raymond. So for the Indians, you have to then think about that, where Noll has been forcing a lot of turnovers in the neutral zone, so you have to clean things up, maybe make some of those shorter passes instead of looking for the far side stretch pass, and avoid those passes that could easily be broken up and taken down for quality scoring chances. So just a lot to work on here and try to refine here for the final period of action for this quarterfinal matchup. So for the Indians, if you lose, you're out of the tournament. So they'll look to adjust. And for Noll, you want to keep doing what's been working. They've really been persistent with that forecheck. And you look at what teams, how the Florida Panthers just won 2 Stanley Cups was by that non-stop forecheck, forcing those turnovers before your opponent can even set up. That's what Noll has done a very good job of this evening. And we've seen them with 2 goals to show for it from that forecheck. The other one just with that good cycling in the offensive zone. So it's been a fun evening of hockey, and we'll see what the third period has in store. A reminder that the winner of this game will face Munster tomorrow afternoon. I believe that's a 2:20 puck drop, somewhere around there. I'll get the official time in a moment, but as we see the Zamboni leaving the ice, and that means we will have the third period coming up soon. So we'll take one quick break. When we come back, we'll have the third period between Bishop Noll and Lake Central. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Hi, my name is Mark Machnick. I'm the owner of Mark Machnick CPA firm in Highland, Indiana on Kennedy Avenue. I've been working with Region Sports for years now. Started working with Chris years ago, just on some special projects, advertising here and there. After a while, kind of increased the advertising. Mainly was doing it for the community involvement. It's such a great network and program they do with the high school sports. But as time went by, I started getting on there more frequently, and then the phone starts ringing. And I was getting calls all the time from people. Hey, I saw your ad on so-and-so football game. I saw your ad on a basketball game. And it's really helped my business. It's increased the volume. We're a tight community in Northwest Indiana, sports-wise, and just a lot of community involvement. So that's mainly why I got into it. I remember watching one game. It was a basketball game, and I think there was a little bit of an altercation. And as the altercation was happening, my ad was right on the bottom and someone typed in, "I wonder what Mark Machnick's thinking right now." And I was thinking, wow, this is awesome. It's really been a great feature for my business. It's the only advertising I do. I don't advertise anywhere else other than Region Sports. You know, it's for the business, but mainly for the involvement with the community. I played high school baseball here in Highland, and ever since I've been advertising on Region Sports, a lot of my old coaches are now my clients. A lot of my old teammates come in here. My recommendation, if you're a business here in Northwest Indiana, I think Region Sports is, for your money, it's one of the best places that you can advertise. I mean, I can advertise on billboards. I could do anywhere I want to. And I choose Region Sports, mainly because I get a lot of feedback, you know, especially on the high school level. A lot of the parents, if they can't make a game, they're watching it online. They're watching a replay, the grandparents. So it's done wonders for my business, and it's my go-to for advertising. It's the only spot I would advertise. So if you're a business owner in the area, really look into advertising on Region Sports. It's going to be well worth your money, and you'll make tenfold on what you're spending. Region Sports Network, they're the only game in town, but they're more than just a game.
Stay with us after the game, and we'll name the Proud Union Home Play of the Game presented by Ironworkers Local 395. Ironworkers Local 395. For more information on the apprenticeship program, check out ironworkers395.com. Third period about to begin here at the Cube. Leo Staudaher with you on the call alongside Zach Miller and Aaron Svetlin on what is a busy Friday night for the Region Sports Network. We'll have plenty of basketball games coming up later this evening, so across all of our platforms, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you choose to look, there will be more streams coming up as we go. So this is kind of the opening act of the evening. We're happy to be here. You'll have Lake Central on the left side of your screens in the white uniforms with blue helmets. Bishop Noll on the right side with the navy jerseys, tan pants, and navy helmets. The Warriors win the face-off. They send it back to Bazkowski, and it's brought up the ice by Kohler for the Indians. He sends it to Dostal on the left side, plays it wide of the keeper Schultz. He lets that one bounce towards the left circle. Stocky steps in to help. They go with the outlet feed to Bazkowski, brings it along the right circle. Dances his way forward, gets it to Hickson. The Warriors are on the move. Quick 3-on-2. Hickson loads up, shoots off the post into the corner. Behind the net, here's Stocky. Slides it to Lichajewski, but it was just out of reach for him. Stocky plays it towards the slot. Hickson watches it bounce away and then wrapped around the boards by Frysma. Kohler up top to Chalmers. Quick rush for Dostal and the Indians. Kutka dances, puts it on his backhand, sends it upstairs for a goal. Just like that, Lake Central's within one. Some nice teamwork between Kutka and Dostal here in the opening minute of the third period. So watch this quick rush through the middle. A great pass by Dostal to Kutka. Goes forehand, backhand, top shelf. And we have a one-goal game with 14:03 left to play in the third period. So what we were talking about at intermission, where you don't want to give up a goal in the first minute of a period or the last minute. Lake Central scored with 1:18 left in the second period, and now 57 seconds into the third period to make it a one-goal game. We'll see how the Warriors respond. You can always tell a lot about that first 2 minutes after a goal is scored. Here's Geenan on the right side, sends it, stopped by Schultz, just goes over the net. But the Indians in the offensive zone, dropped into the corner by Sachaki, wrapped around by Peacock. Right side, it's Biskin. Biskin crosses center ice. Shoots, gloved away by Conley into the corner. Calger sends it along the boards. Shot from the point, Peacock, broken up by Egan. Shot by Biskin, and it sneaks through. Biskin helps the Warriors answer back. Biskin was in the right spot at the right time to make this a 4-2 game with 13:11 left in the period. So here's the initial look from Biskin. And then the Indians send it along the boards where Peacock keeps it in the zone. Takes kind of a wacky bounce, ends up right on the stick of Biskin. Sends it as it just squeaks through the pads of Connolly. So John Biskin helps the Warriors extend their lead to 4-2. That was a massive response by Bishop Noll. Here's Gates with his back turned to the forecheckers. Sends it up the ice, broken up by Marzilli. Now they clear the zone. Frysma launches it towards the keeper. Schultz has it squeak out of his glove, but Tapia's there to pick it up. Tapia's pass just past Raymond, kept in play by Chalmers. It rattles around the zone. Here's Wright, curling back. Chips it away. Hoekstra is going to try to chase it down. Hoekstra, cross-ice feed at the foot of Raymond. Raymond, low shot, kicked away by Conley. Tapia keeps it in play. It's low. Hoekstra to Raymond. Lifts it just past the glove of the goaltender. Frysma doesn't have a stick, but he's going to try to protect it in the corner. Frysma continues just to kick it away, gets it to Chalmers. Chalmers shrugs past Hoekstra, carries it past the blue line. But then he's stood up by Tapia, and the Warriors take over. Up the ice. Here's Valianis. Low shot. 5-hole, and it's kept in play. Connolly just hangs on to it. He was able to reach back and get to it. So that could have been a good chance for Valianis and the Warriors, but Connolly stands tall, keeps it a 4-2 game with 11:54 left to play in the third period. Stocky and Egan square up for the face-off. Up to the point, Buzkowski sends it, and it hits his own teammate. Stocky, though, on the rebound, sends it backhand towards the keeper. Lichikowski behind the net. Kutka takes it away from him. Now Kutka lofts it up the ice where it's collected by Buzkowski. Down the ice, Egan slows up behind the net. Gets it to Kohler. Left side. Finds Dostal. Dostal with a goal and an assist in the game. Works his way right side. Kohler just wide of the blocker. I think Schultz got a piece of it. This one ricochets behind the net. Buzkowski sends it vertically where it's brought up by Stocky. Stocky and Lawrence. Lawrence goes wide of the net. Dostal gets to it just outside the point. Lichajewski goes backward with it. Now the Warriors have control. Lichajewski to Lawrence. Was looking for Stocky, but he was boxed out by Calger. Calger works with it, chips it behind the net towards Kohler. Kohler's pass. Lichajewski got a piece of it. Dostal tries to track it down, but Vincent gets there first. The Warriors stick with it. Nice step up by the defenseman, but Dostal escapes with it. Kohler past the red line, gets to the blue line, drops it into the corner, and now Peacock will look to help the Warriors exit the zone. Shakes past one defender, cuts to the left. Backhand pass to center ice to Lawrence. Biskin just loses it, but Biskin recovers. Biskin with the low shot, kicked away by Connolly. Up top to Peacock, has passed to Biskin. Biskin shoots, stopped with the mask by Connolly. But the Warriors don't ease up, keeping it in the zone. Biskin at the point. Sends one belt high, and then gloved by Connolly, and he gets a much-needed whistle with 9:51 to play in the third period. Conley with several point-blank stops to keep his team in this one, and took one off the mask there, and the referee makes sure everything still in place after that. That's always one of the tough plays about being a goaltender is when you have to take one upstairs and play on. You can't get the whistle, and a lot of times you'll see the referees try to help the goalie out when that occurs. As Frysma chips it towards Sachaki. Right side, across the blue line by Nieves. Tapia swipes it away. Now Hoekstra has it behind the net. Nieves. Quick look to Geenan. Wright has his stick tied up. Hoekstra carries it forward, but the Indians stick with it in the offensive zone. Frysma slides it wide of the net. Here's Hoekstra under siege from Nieves. Nieves protecting the puck, but then Gates steps in to help flush it away. Hoekstra is knocked down, and it's brought up ice by the Warriors, by Raymond. Chalmers just in front of the Noll bench as Gates wraps it around the boards, looking for a Navy jersey to try to track it down. Nieves towards the slot, broken up by a pair of Bishop Noll sticks, and now Hoekstra is on the move. He's got Raymond on the left side. Hoekstra flips it to Raymond. He gloves it out of the air, still loose. Hoekstra flips it towards the net, and then Connolly will smother it to earn the whistle. 8:44 left to go in the third period. Bishop Noll leads 4-2. Be sure to stay connected with all things Region Sports by supporting and following us on social media. We're always active on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, and online. Celebrating over 25 years, we're proud to still be the only game in town. That one takes a wacky hop in front of the net. Lichajewski just cues it forward, and then Stocky sent down after the whistle. But that one, the point from the shot, took a hop from the end boards behind the net, and then ricocheted, landing in front of the net, where Stocky just had to poke it towards Connolly, who was just able to freeze it. Stocky and Kutka get ready for the draw. Biskin snaps one from the top of the circle. It goes wide of the net. And then Calger brings it up ice. Calger towards the blue line. Biskin shoulders him away. Hickson drops it backward to Buzkowski. His pass intended for Lichajewski was a little bit out of his reach and bounces down for an icing. It'll be a defensive zone face-off for the Warriors to the right of Schultz. So after Lake Central really came out swinging to start the period, it's been Bishop Noll who has adjusted and has had the majority of the chances as of late. So this could be a pivotal offensive zone draw for the Indians. Buzkowski wraps it around the boards. Lichajewski plays it, but Freisma keeps it in. Freisma sends it wide of the glove of Schultz. Kohler chips at it, but poked out of the zone by Biskin. Left side, it's Freisma. Freisma turns back behind the net, looks up ice, sends it shoulder height. Kutka past him, and then Buzkowski. The icing's waved off. Buzkowski was looking for a partner, but then Dostal takes it away. Kohler with a shot, goes bar down, makes it a one-goal game. You leave the man open in that spot, he'll make you pay. And just like that, Dostal and Kohler get the Indians back on the board. Dostal keeps it in, and then Samson Kohler finds himself wide open at the hash marks, goes top shelf with 7:55 left to play in the third period. And the offsides will bring up a face-off just outside the zone. So what a way for Lake Central to answer back after Noll had several chances. And the credit, I would say, goes to Conley for weathering that storm, making so many big saves to keep his team in it. And then they help their goalie out by getting a big goal to make it a one-goal game. Dostal kept it in play at the half wall, and then Kohler with the snipe makes it a 4-3 game. Here's Nieves looking down the ice. Klopowski keeps it in. Lawrence working with one hand on the stick. Sweeped away. Peacock, nice move at the point. Shoots, but right at Conley. He was just able to take that angle away. I've been saying it all night, but Noll does such a good job with those shots from the point, being able to fit them through those tight angles. And they're those low shots that if you get a stick or a shin pad on one of those, they could take a redirection. As Vincent goes through the chaos. Vincent, though, pushed off the puck by Sachaki. Up top, they were looking for Peacock, but goes past them. Peacock under pressure from Sachaki, braces for impact, gets it to Klopowski. And now the Warriors leave the zone. Egan goes D-to-D to Calger, back to Egan. Egan up the middle to Geenan. Lifted up ice, Vincent battling. They get it to Wells, but then cued away up ice. Calgary's hustling to get to it. But the Warriors get it to Lawrence. Lawrence trying to go through the middle. Shouldered away by Egan, and they're not done yet. Egan and Lawrence battling behind the play as Kutka goes to the offensive zone. Tapia steps in front of that. Hoekstra has it. There is still some pushing and shoving going on behind the play. Hoekstra crosses the red line, launches it towards the goaltender where it's just kicked away by Conley. Kohler works, goes left side to Calgary, swings back. Calgary sends it just in front of Raymond. Kohler has it squeak away. Hoekstra pokes it away. Quick pass to center ice where Calgary takes over. Calgary with his team trailing by 1. Plays it towards Schultz. It goes wide behind the net. Gates jabs it forward. Here's Hoekstra behind his own net to Gates. Raymond tracks it down. 5:38 left to play in the third period. Noll leads 4-3. Gates to the left of his keeper. Gates sends it high off the boards down ice. Egan gets to it. Egan chips it at the red line. Tapia takes over. The defenseman joins the rush. Tapia towards the net. Off the glove and into the net. The Warriors strike back with 5:14 to play. Alex Tapia makes it a 5-3 game. So on the near side of the screen, we'll see Tapia cut off that pass. The defenseman joins the rush. Snaps that shot. It goes off the glove of the goaltender and into the back of the net. Conley was able to get the leather on it, but it just got past him. And the Warriors lead 5-3 in what's been a back and forth contest. Quick shot kicked away by Conley. Down the boards to Buzkowski. To the left of his goalie. Finds Stocky. Stocky on the close side. Works towards center ice. Quickly feeds it to Valianis. Valianis cuts to the middle. Goes wide of the net. Stocky chases it down. Stocky looking for a pass. Nobody's home to get to it. The Warriors take over. Chalmers is on the move. Chalmers has it poked away by Buzkowski, but then Geeden gets to it, sends it into the wall of Schultz. That's a big save in the defensive zone with 4:24 left to play. And we've seen both teams really using their defensemen to join the rush. Chalmers with a good example there after the goal from Tapia, where he did a similar thing. When you can get those defensemen mobile, that really makes things that much easier for the forwards to set up. Here's Chalmers trying to keep it in play. Chalmers battling with Lawrence. Kutka escapes with it. Goes far side to Frysma. Kutka curling through center ice. Wells has it. Now Kohler takes over for Lake Central. Left side Kutka makes one man miss. Dostal to Kohler. Up top to Frysma. Frysma cradles. Driving towards net from the goal line. He shoots and scores! Back and forth we go. Connor Frysma brings the Indians within 1 with 3:47 left to play. So watch Frysma doing this work from the point. Takes it down low from a nearly impossible angle from the goal line. Shoots it and just tools it off the goaltender and into the back of the net. Frysma with good vision, being able to kind of work through all that traffic up front. Makes it a 5-4 game. Kohler into the offensive zone. The Warriors lead by 1. It's kicked away by Schultz. Dostal behind the net to Kutka. Sends it towards the slot, but Raymond holds the line. Vincent turns back for the Warriors. Vincent under siege from Kohler, escapes, has the puck. Up ice to Raymond at the blue line. Raymond on a quick rush. Chalmers drapes him down, and then a big save by Conley. Conley with his biggest save of the outing. on a quick rush by the Warriors, keeps it a 5-4 game. Frysma chips it into the corner. Vincent up top to Chalmers. And what was a quick breakaway for Raymond. The referee's really letting the boys play as he was wrapped up and brought down by Chalmers. And then on the second opportunity, Conley made a huge glove save there. Perhaps his biggest save of the outing. Now Frysma at the far blue line. He scored the last goal for the Indians as he crosses into the offensive zone. Frysma with 2 blue jerseys in front of him, chips it. Tapia takes it away. Down ice, Stocky has it, and what do we have here? A hand pass. Either a hand pass or a high stick. As Stocky, when you get the hand pass outside of your defensive zone, you can't play it forward, and because of his momentum, it was carrying him forward, and he dropped it in front of him. So that'll be a defensive zone draw for the Warriors to the left of their goaltender, Schultz. And now the Indians will take a timeout in this pivotal spot here with 2:24 left to play in the third period. Bishop Noll leads 5-4. It's been a wild outing of hockey so far with this third period. Bishop Noll was leading 3-1 going into this period. It's now a 5-4 game. That's a lot of offense in about 12 and a half minutes so far. Still 2.5 minutes to go. It'll be a race to the finish. And now for Lake Central, you start to weigh the debate. When do you pull the goaltender to get the man advantage out there with the 6-on-5? I'd say within the last 4 or 5 years, we've been seeing that shift happen in hockey where teams have started doing it around the 5-minute mark. Sometimes in the NHL, that's normally with a 2-goal deficit, but still, they are pulling the goalie earlier and earlier to get that extra skater out there. That will certainly be something. We'll see what happens here with this offensive zone face-off with 2.5 minutes to go. And seems like anytime either team seems to get the momentum, the opponent just wrestles it right back. It's been swinging back and forth all night. So these final 2.5 minutes, who knows what kind of twists and turns could be in store. But we'll see here. Looks like Stocky will take the defensive zone face-off for Noll and Kutka to the offensive side for Lake Central. These two have been battling all night. Tied up in front of the net, they get a quick shot, but it's jabbed away with a blocker by Schultz, and then the Warriors just drop it down the ice for icing. And this is one of those spots for Noll where you'll take the icing, just that chance to regroup, reset, get back in structure, and avoid any chaos by chasing things around in your defensive zone. So 2:16 to play in the third period. Kutka against Stocky. The draw is won by the Indians, but Lichajewski recovers. They send it back to the defenseman. Broken up. Kept in play by Sachaki. Here's Frysma. Lifted down the ice. It rolls just past the goaltender, and it'll be another icing. Buzkowski was able to clear the zone there. So 1:58 left to play. For those players in the defensive zone, this is one of those moments where it feels like time cannot move fast enough. With a little bit under 2 minutes to play. Taken behind the net by Valianis. Up the boards. Lake Central keeps it in play, but they send it at the back of their own player. Sachaki at the point. Shakes off Lichajewski, but the Warriors are able to clear the zone. And it'll be offsides as Frysma sent it towards the goaltender. These players had not yet cleared the zone. So that face-off will be just in front of the Bishop Noll bench to the goaltender's right. 1:42 left to play. Kutka wins it backward. It skips over the stick of Chalmers. Chalmers and Frysma play catch as D partners. Tapia tracks down that loose puck, plays it off the glass just over the stick of Chalmers. Frysma heaves it up the ice. Biskin kicks it away towards the far quarter. Tapia wraps it around the boards. Kutka winds up, but then goes with a short side pass. Angles it forward towards net. Now it'll be an empty net. The Indians will get the extra attacker out. Klopowski lifts it down the ice, but it bounces off a pair of Lake Central players. Chalmers, with his team having a 6-on-5, sends it up the ice. Vincent has his attempt blocked by Dostal. 56 seconds left to play as Vincent lifts it down the ice. Biskin tries to chase it down. Klopowski backwards towards Tapia. Now Dostal carries it on the backhand. Vincent bounces it up in the air. Lake Central has it. Chalmers from the point. He shoots. Big save by Schultz. 36 seconds left to go. Bishop Noll leads 5-4, but they'll have a defensive zone faceoff. And Lake Central with the man advantage. You want to get your 6 best players on the ice here. And for Bishop Noll, you want to have 5 defensively tuned players out there. The shot from Friesma goes wide of the net. Kohler tracks it down, wraps it around for Hoekstra, chips it forward. Raymond's going for it. Friesma beats him to it. Friesma curling back, two men to beat. Friesma over the red line, 19 seconds to play. Friesma barreling towards the net, looks for a pass, but nobody's home to get to it. Dostal into the corner to Friesma, up top to Chalmers. He shoots and scores! C.J. Chalmers ties it up with 8 seconds to go. Lets one rip from the point, and we're tied at 5. So watch this entry by Friesma. Able to circle. They get it to the half wall, and then they go up top to Chalmers with that low shot. Blocker side beats the goalie and makes it a 5-5 game. So with 8 seconds to go, Stocky and Kutka get ready for the face-off. They win it to Buzkowski, 5 seconds left to play. They'll try to play it safe here. Stocky, one last chance. Punched away by Calger. That was a heads-up play. So now the plot thickens. We will head to overtime here in the Roper Cup quarterfinals. We will see just how much time they put on overtime. The rules are always different in tournaments, in regular season play, so we'll quickly find out what the OT rules are here. But with the wild evening we've had of hockey, I'm okay with some extra time here. I don't know about Zach Miller and Aaron Svetlin if you guys have anywhere to be, but where else would you rather be but the Cube here for overtime between Bishop Noll and Lake Central. What a game so far, as that third period had all kinds of offense. Lake Central, even when it seemed like they were out of it at times, trailing by 2 goals, able to work it back, and then Chalmers, with 8 seconds to spare, ties it up. So I'm not sure. So we will have a 5-minute overtime period. If they're still tied after that, I'm not sure what we will have, but it'll be either another 5-minute overtime frame or a shootout. Again, every tournament seems to do it differently. I should have checked with the Roper Cup rules. I might have them here, so I will effort that and see if I can find out. But again, we'll have overtime. 5 minutes put on the board. Lake Central on the left side, Bishop Noll on the right, as we get ready to work here. Kutka, it'll be a 4-on-4 overtime, by the way. So that changes the strategy too. Buzkowski, whether you want to play it 3 forwards and a defenseman or go 2 and 2, there's a lot of possibilities, and really you just want to get your 4 best guys on the ice. Kutka, quick shot, gloved by Schultz, and then he drops it down and covers it up for the face-off. But I will try to find the tournament rules here to make sure we have the correct overtime. Either way, if you score here in overtime, it's over. Offensive zone faceoff for the Indians. It's one backward to Valianis. Goes D to D, gets it to Buzkowski. Scans his options. Tries to chip it off the boards, but Chalmers takes over. Chalmers to the offensive zone. Finds Kutka on the left side. Kutka had it broken up by Buzkowski. Now Klopowski enters the offensive zone for Bishop Noll. Freisma holds the line. Stocky cues it into the corner. Chalmers slows up. Big hit from Biskin. And then Stocky battles, rips it away from Kohler. Stocky to Biskin. Kicked away by Conley. Down the ice to Vincent. Here's Vincent, the defenseman. Looks back for the regroup. Curls again. Vincent has his teammate Stocky on the right side. Now Tapia chases this one down. He'll swing back as Klopowski and Raymond down the ice. Goes to Vincent. Vincent shoulders away one defender. Here's Tapia on the far side. Crosses the blue line. Tapia with a low shot kicked away by Conley. Freisma looks to make something happen. Poked away by Raymond. The Warriors still so aggressive with that forecheck, and it's been working. Raymond just offsides. Tapia was still trying to get over the blue line, and then Raymond entered the offensive zone. Offsides. It'll be a face-off just outside the offensive zone for the Warriors with 3:22 left to play in overtime. We'll see Sachaki facing off against Klopowski. So Sapowski gets ready for this draw against Sachaki. They tie each other up. It's loose. Tapia takes it and then dumps it in the offensive zone. Freisma goes right side to Chalmers. Short pass. They go right back to Chalmers on the give and go. Chalmers to the offensive zone. Shoots over the net, off the glass. Dostal tracks it down. Behind the net, Tapia. Quick bank off the boards to Vincent. Vincent looks to center ice to Raymond. Raymond with 2 goals in the game. Drifts to his left. Protects the puck. Was looking for Vincent. Kicked away. Now the Indians are on the move. Dostal over the red line. Dostal with Tapia in front of him. Circles back. Kicked away by Vincent. Now Raymond has it. But then Dostal doesn't back down on the back check. Dostal chips it forward. Tapia doesn't get the bounce he wanted off the boards. So Chalky to Dostal. Up top to Chalmers. 2:26 left to play. Chalmers carries it forward. Sapowski defends him. Was trying the one-time pass to Sachaki, but it squeaks away. Freisma has it kicked away by Schultz. Up ice. Raymond can't quite get there in time, and then they send it right at the referee, which will bring a whistle. 2:09 left to play in overtime. It's tied up at 5. Kutka and Stocky get ready for the draw. It's taken away by Geenan. Geenan goes back to his defenseman, Egan. Egan, his pass just a little bit over served, goes all the way down to the Warriors' end of the ice, where Buzkowski plays it off the boards. 1:53 left to go in overtime. Stocky loses it off the backhand. Chips it forward to Golianis. To Valianis. Still battling. Kutka escapes with it. Kutka shakes past Buzkowski. Stopped by Schultz. Stocky behind the net. Works it to Valianis. The Warriors are on the move. Valianis drifts to the right side. Weaves to the left now along the blue line. Goes with a low shot. Jabbed away with the blocker by Conley. And now the Indians take it behind their net. 1:19 left to play. Here's Geenan. Crosses the logo. Passes to his left. It's broken up by Buzkowski. Plays it geometrically up the boards. Lichajewski couldn't quite get there. D-to-D pass to Kutka. Kutka at the right face-off circle. Drops it just in front of Calger. He's on the move to the offensive zone. Left circle. Works his way into the corner. Wrapping around the net. Goes up top to Egan. Egan with a snapshot. Kicked away by Schultz. And here's Buzkowski. 42 seconds to play. Drops it backward. And Hoekstra takes over. Hoekstra surges past one defender. Works it up top to Vincent. Vincent from the right point. Turns, goes to Hoekstra on the right side. Hoekstra's pass intercepted by the Indians. Taken over center ice by Egan, poked away by Vincent. 19 seconds left to play. Tapia handles. Goes to Vincent. Vincent speeds up from the defensive position, crosses the blue line. Vincent to the circle, poked away by Sachaki. 5 seconds left to play. Vincent protecting the puck. Running out of time, and he will have time expire to end the first overtime period. Both teams with some really good chances in OT, but unable to find the back of the net, so we will play on here, and now we'll find out, will this be a second overtime or a shootout? I think that's what the officials are discussing with the coaches at the bench. That was just a fast-paced overtime with maybe 2-3 whistles. It was a quick 5 minutes. And so we'll see what the next stage has in store for us in this 5-5 Roper Cup quarterfinal matchup between Bishop Noll and Lake Central. As we get ready to work here. And how about, both teams, the goaltenders have been outstanding in what's been an offensive showdown, but the goaltenders have stepped up when they've needed them to. Schultz with some big saves for Bishop Noll. Connolly with some really good point-blank stops for Lake Central. That's one of the ones you look at the box score, you see, 5 goals allowed. That was, the offenses had their night, but the goaltenders have done a great job this evening, and I just wanted to mention that here before I think we're about to begin a shootout. So this should be exciting. And this is where you really, those decisions become that much more important, getting the right players out there. It's one-on-one. There's nowhere to hide in a shootout. The Warriors will shoot first. They'll call the number of Matthew Lichajewski. So Lichajewski steps to the circle. Works towards the slot. Forehand, backhand, stopped by Conley. So Conley was able to read where that was going and then stop it with the right pad. Now it will be Luka Sachaki for Lake Central. Sachaki gets ready to work. Carries it slowly through the slot. Tries to go backhand, but it's kicked away by Schultz. Still scoreless here through the first 2 shooters. The next man over the bench for Bishop Noll will be Noah Raymond. Raymond with 2 goals in the game. Could try to draw first here in the shootout. Raymond slowly brings it past the blue line. Favors the left circle. Now he cuts towards the middle. Raymond shoots, blocked. Connolly got the blocker on it. Plays it into the corner. So that slow approach, Connolly didn't really leave any room for Raymond to read and just jabs it away. Next up for Lake Central, Connor Friesma. He speeds up over the blue line, shoots, stopped by Schultz. So after a couple of shooters went with a slow approach, Friesma really hustled over the blue line, but then Schultz got the blocker on it and punched it away. Here's Jordan Stocky for Bishop Noll. Stocky takes it at center ice. Starts to speed up at the top of the circle. Stocky has it punched away by Conley. So 3 up, 3 down for Conley and the Indians. They'll see now if Nick Kutka can find the back of the net, the 3rd shooter for LC. Kutka had a goal early in the 3rd period. He'll take it to the left circle. The right-handed shooter dances his way to the right and then just runs out of room. Nothing happening there. One too many moves. So now we get to the point where through the first 3 shooters we're scoreless. It could be the next goal scorer could win it. So here's Vincent. Well, if the Warriors score, the Indians will have a chance to answer. Vincent with a slow carry into the offensive zone. Vincent dances, shoots, and scores! Pierre Vincent puts the Warriors on top here in a shootout. So now Lake Central has to score here or the Warriors will win it. Here's C.J. Chalmers. He had the game-tying goal with 8 seconds to go in the third period. Chalmers loads up, stopped by Schultz, and the Warriors will win it. The Warriors win in a shootout 6-5 in the Roper Cup quarterfinals. They beat they beat Lake Central for the second time this season. They will advance to play Munster tomorrow afternoon. What a game here this evening. And Schultz stands tall in the shootout. See the handshake line here as the Warriors stay alive in the Roper Cup tournament, and the Indians will be eliminated from the field. So a great night of hockey here at the Cube. We will hand out some post-game hardware after this quick break, get things sorted out. So stick around. There's still some post-game accolades to come. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Tonight's broadcast is made possible by Strack & Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. Crowell Insurance Company, the insurance superheroes. Ironworkers Local 395, proud to be union. Four Seasons Mechanical, quality and comfort is our guarantee. Boilermakers Local 374, earn while you learn. IBEW Local 697, proud to support high school sports. Bricklayers Local 4, the best hands in the business. Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter. The Right Group, the right way to buy and sell real estate. Mark Machnick, Chicagoland Tax Professionals. Blythe's Team Sports, where the athlete shops. And Hampton Inn, downtown Indianapolis. This is the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Back here at the Cube, where we'll put a bow on this one, Bishop Noll defeats Lake Central 6-5 in the shootout in what was a thriller here in Hammond. So let's get things started. It's time to name the Crowell Companies Lantern Man Superhero of the Game. Crowell Companies, proud to recognize the superheroes on the ice. The Crowell Companies Lantern Man Superhero of the Game tonight we'll go with Noah Raymond from Bishop Noll with 2 goals in the game. I had a couple of nice ones in the second period in a 3-minute span. He was all over the ice for the Warriors. So that was our superhero of the game. Now it's time to name the blue-collar player of the game, brought to you by Boilermakers Local 374. Boilermakers Local 374, earn while you learn with Boilermakers Local 374. I'll go with the blue-collar players of the game. I'll go with the goaltenders from both sides. In a 6-5 game, you might think it was all about the offense, but both of these players, I thought, really did a great job of, when things were getting kind of chaotic, settling things down and keeping their team in the game. So Luke Connolly from Lake Central, when things were 3-1, he really kept the Indians in it, and to make that third period comeback, and then Noah Schultz from Bishop Noll. Big saves early in the game, then again in the third period and the shootout. Some outstanding stops for Schultz. So those are your blue-collar players of the game. And now it's time to name the Proud Union Play of the Game, presented by Ironworkers Local 395. Ironworkers Local 395. To find out how you can become a union ironworker, visit ironworkers395.com. There were a lot of great plays in this game. We could do a whole highlight show here, but we'll go with the game-tying goal with 8 seconds left in the third period. C.J. Chalmers was able to force overtime, and it was Frysma who did a good job of carrying that one around the horn, working it up top to Chalmers. Chalmers with that low shot, being able to sneak it through traffic, ties it up with 8 seconds to play and forced an overtime. Like I said, there were a lot of good plays, but that's the one we deemed was tonight's Ironworkers 395 play of the game, presented by Ironworkers Local 395, Union Strong. A big thank you to everyone involved with this evening's broadcast, to our management team at Region Sports, Chris Ramirez, Rich Castillo, Zach Miller, and Mike Dewan. To my broadcast crew, Zach Miller doing an outstanding job producing, keeping everything on the up and up. To Aaron Svetlin capturing all the action on the camera. To the coaches of each side, Tony Stumpf of Lake Central and Rich Sabilo of Bishop Noll. Big thank you to all of the personnel at the Cube, to Trent Schneider for helping accommodate us here, and to the viewers at Facebook/Region Sports NASIB, YouTube/Region Sports, and the IHSAA Champions Network and RegionSports.com. This is Leo Stauder thanking you for watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.